Okay, now, welcome to my art room, and please stay till the end because the 10th thing on the list is such a good one. You're gonna love it. I'm gonna share with you how I do painting and flat work in my art room that makes it joyful and happy for me and allows the kids to have a really great experience. So welcome to my art room. So here I have a table mat, and I haven't got these laminated yet, but they will be. And on the table mat that protects the table, I've got the elements and principles of art. I've got some general color mixing things, and yeah, and then it's double-sided in case one thing is dirty. They can flip it to the other, and then we'll just wipe these every now and then and keep them kind of clean, art room clean. So table mats, I think this is a really good idea. Okay, so we do the color wheel, we do color theory, then what do? Do we start painting? Well, yeah, we want to paint, but are all the kids ready to paint? No, not necessarily. Sometimes the kids are gone and whatever. So what I have, and the kids seem to like this, is I have a color game, a color mixing game. And I just went in and I painted all these colors on paper. I chopped them up, I glued them on to this grid. I laminated them so the kids can paint on this and check colors, because what they're gonna do is they make a matching color to the color here, figuring out how colors work together so that they can match colors. Then once they find the color, they paint it on this, and then that is the color matching game. Now, what do we do with this? Well, I mean, you can let them take them home when they're done or whatever, but what I have done with them is here's a color matching game that we've painted after we're done with the color matching game. And here's another one. Okay, this one, the color matching game was on the back. They didn't finish it all. That's okay. They just had fun figuring out how colors are made. And so here's another abstract piece that they've made. Here's one that was just a random, just a piece of sulfite paper. And we do texture plate rubbings, and I have a video on this on the channel that I'll put down below if you want to give it a try. Let's see if I've got one here. Oh. Okay, so here's one that was a piece of paper that they mixed the colors on because they dipped into the palette and then they mixed them on this paper to find the right color. And so we painted on top of this one, just doing an upcycled paper assignment that not everything has to be pretty and clean to begin with. It could be upcycled and reused. And abstract is hard for kids because it's easy to make a nasty looking abstract piece. So we talk about that. So that is what we do after the color matching game. Okay, so when I first started teaching, and even now, I get so excited about a project and I want to just get started. I want to pass that paper out to the kids and just get going on stuff. And then always I'm like, oh, you dummy. They don't have their name on anything and I don't know what belongs to what and they don't remember. So before we ever get any kind of supplies out other than paper, they always write their first and last name and the hour, if that's important to me. Or another tip that I like to use is, let's say this paper is gonna be displayed somewhere because I know this project is one that I like to display. So HR stands for homeroom, and then I don't have to look up their name and figure out where to put this to give it back to them, because that does take a lot of time. And I have 6-week classes, so they're coming and going. I don't know where they go. And so they, you could do like the last class of the day or the first class of the day or whatever, but that has been very helpful. Another thing with paper is I like to have standard size paper dimensions by my paper cutter, because if I cut paper to these standard size dimensions, parents appreciate it, because then when they go to mat or frame their kids' work, it's not gonna be super expensive because they're just standard size dimensions. And yeah, it does take me a little bit of time to cut it down from an 8x12 or whatever weird size it comes in to one of these standard sizes, but I feel like it's really appreciated by parents, which I am. And I was really frustrated when I had to mat something or frame something from my kids and it wasn't a standard size. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have this kind of money. So standard size, hanging at my paper cutter, reminding me every time, what's your standard size this time? All right, so you're working with acrylic, and again, I don't like the kids to distribute their own paint because again, they think they're painting a house, and so we need that much paint, and then it all goes in the trash, and it's crazy. So I don't know where I found this idea. I think maybe I saw it on Pinterest, I'm not sure. Anyway, these are little ice cube containers that I got on Amazon, and they come with a sealable lid. That's right, a sealable lid. So this is a palette for acrylic paint, and so when they're painting with acrylic paint, they just dip into these and paint. And if they need to mix, they dip into these, mix somewhere else, and paint. And this has made me want to use acrylic paints again, because I hate distributing acrylic paints, because no matter what bottle I tried, they all would clog, and I just don't want to unclog bottles and stuff like that. So I just pour these right out of the, what is it, the half gallon or gallon jugs of acrylic that I get from the supply Blick or whatever. And I love these, very nice. So when the kids are painting and they've got brushes and they're painting whatever, I have noticed that they don't really wash their brushes out very good anyway, and they like to leave them in the sink, and they're pretty lazy about brush care. So a long time ago, I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna wash the brushes myself. And so I always have a big old hot tub for the brushes so they can relax after they get done painting. And so the kids just put them in here and they soak, and really it's you know, after they soak for a while, usually when I go to wash them, it's really not that big a deal. So, and then my brushes stay nicer, I have to spend less money on that. And so the kids don't wash their own brushes. Do they even wash their hands after they use the restroom? Yeah, it's middle school. So in order to teach the color wheel, years ago, I used to be able to do an entire project with the color wheel. And in today's world, some kids really don't like doing a color wheel to make a project out of it because of the connotations of the LGBTQ+ society, which whatever your view is on that, it really matters what the kids think and what they feel comfortable doing. And so I have created color theory sheets that they put into their drawing book, and they paint these. And in 6th grade, I have a simpler one because a lot of the kids have never mixed any colors. So we just keep it super simple. And then in 7th grade and 8th grade, I do intermediate colors as well. And we work on brown, how to make brown, and just a basic value scale. And then that gives them the skills to go on and do different paintings. And this is a one-day kind of thing. Sometimes the day before I'll have them lay it out and we'll watch it. And then the next day they get their computers out, they pull up the video, they do this with the video, because no matter how well they've watched the video, they cannot remember how to do either of these. And so they just paint along with me on the video after they've watched it. And it's, you know, it gets done in a day, a class period, they dry, and then we get them back the next day. Paper plate palettes, very helpful. And I don't usually let the kids get their own palette because they don't understand that they're not painting a house, they're painting a little painting. So I distribute the paint, and I like to buy it this size, and I just squirt a bunch and have them pick it up, or if they can't handle that, I deliver it on my cart. I love my cart. Paper plate palettes. And then they can just throw these away, or they can put them back and the next kid uses them if they're not mixing on them. So spill-proof water containers I've invested in these, and you can tell by how filthy they are. I've had them for quite a few years, but I hardly ever have water spilled. And of course, I have to remind them that even half full water is as wet as totally full water, so we only fill them halfway. Spill-proof water containers. Very helpful. Okay, so you've made it through the video. Congratulations and thank you. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell. And our last tip, and I learned this a long time ago, is when you're doing a seating chart, who do you put kids by? Well, there's different theories on that. And what I've found is girls like to sit by girls and boys like to sit by boys. And studies have shown that girls are less anxious around like gender, and the same with boys. Now, obviously, there's going to be groups that, you can't put certain girls together or certain boys together. But I find overall, grouping by gender does help the kids feel more relaxed and keeps them in a creative spirit because they're not, nervous about sitting by an opposite gender person and whatever. But that's just something that I do that I think works pretty good.